Good evening and welcome to Sunday Night Satsang with myself, John Homewood, and
Hi, Michelle.
Michelle. She wasn't with us last week, but she's back again. It's good. So tonight we're going to be talking about
Caring.
caring.
It's all about caring.
All about caring. It's all about caring, and we're going to be looking at that from a few different angles tonight. So welcome, and as usual, we like to know who we're talking to. So if you can, just drop a line in the message box telling us who you are and where you're watching from. And also we like getting the hearts, don't we?
We do.
Good.
It makes us feel like there's someone out there.
It is, and giving us the hearts means that you care. We care.
We care.
We care to get the hearts. So if you can just send us hearts, it's nice. Hello, Paula. Hi, Paula. And thank you for the hearts. Thank you. We love getting those. Thank you. And also, if you like what we have to share, if you can help spread the word by pressing the like and the share button, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're on YouTube, and just share it. Get the word out there. Thank you for all the hearts we're getting now. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, Kaminda. Hello, Kaminda.
Merlin up there.
Yeah, Merlin's there. Yes. Yes, hello Merlin. We saw you there. Your little picture came up. Yeah. So hi. So tonight it's all about caring. That's the theme, the topic for tonight. Have you got anything to share on astrology before we start tonight? Nothing.
Really. No, I haven't looked.
The moon hasn't bumped into Uranus or something.
As far as I know, we're all still
the
here.
sun hasn't fallen on the
Nothing's
sky.
fallen on our heads as far as we know.
All right.
Hello, Viv.
Hello, Viv. Yes. So let's start this evening by withdrawing our mind from the weekend, from all other times and all other places, and just being centered in the present moment. We start with a meditation just to bring the sacred essence of being into the moment. And meditation really is just about clearing the mind. That's really what it is. Very simple, to clear the mind. The only thing that blocks us from the sacredness of life are the thoughts we think. Every thought we think is a movement away from the sacred essence of being, of the Holy Spirit, of the divine, whatever you want to call it. It's all here, and every thought is a movement away from here-ness. So that's why we start these satsangs with a centering meditation. And so let's just take a moment to connect with the here and now. Gently maybe closing your eyes. We've always recommend lighting a candle. We normally have a candle lit just to bring a bit of centeredness, sacredness, and hopefully you've seen they've got enough cushions and comfortable and won't be disturbed for the next little while. So thank you for those hearts again. Hello, Janet from Pinetown, where I lived for many years. So let's just gently close our eyes. And let's start this evening by increasing our awareness of the thoughts that we're thinking. Just being aware that there are these 60,000 thoughts on average that we have passing through our awareness every day. Just being aware of the thoughts that are passing through your awareness right now in this moment. And as you become aware of your thoughts, you realize that you are not them, that you are seeing your thoughts. So therefore there must be the seer and the thought as separate. Don't try in any way to control your thoughts, don't try and get rid of your thoughts, but don't follow them with your attention, with your awareness. Just stay centered as the witnessing awareness of the thoughts as they pass through your mind. Let's take a very deep breath into the body. It's the gift of life, is the breath of life. So take a very deep breath in, pulling it all the way down, as we always do, blowing our tummy up. So we're breathing in from the diaphragm, and then a very long out breath. Really squeeze the air out of you. Let it all go. And then take another very deep breath in. You've emptied your lungs and now they're ready to take in another beautiful, deep, fresh breath. And then make the out breath twice as long as the in breath. Just breathe it all out. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Take a third very deep breath in. You can imagine it going right down to the toes, so you're really pulling the air into the body. And then the out breath isn't so much of a doing, it's a releasing, it's a surrendering. So we just let it go and we soften our shoulders and our neck muscles. We smooth away any wrinkles on the forehead and we just let the breath go. Now we hand over the breathing back to life. We allow life to breathe us, this incredible intelligence that beats our heart. We allow life to breathe us. We don't have to concern ourselves with the breath, but just maintain our awareness on the rhythm and the flow of the breath in and out of the body. Being aware of the breath is such a powerful tool at clearing the attachment we have to past and future. Because breath isn't past and future. Breath is always here and now. So just by focusing our attention on the breath, we can very quickly clear the mind of its stories. It only takes one conscious breath to realize presence within our awareness. You might like to bring your awareness to the tip of your nose and just feel the in-breath and the out-breath, noticing the temperature change in the nostrils as you do that. And with each out-breath, surrender more to this present moment here and now, and everything that's contained within this present moment. Use the out-breath to settle down deeper into your body, into your physical body, because your physical body is present. It's only the mind that travels. So use every out-breath as a surrender, surrendering the mind, and bring your awareness home to what's called the isness of this moment, the here and now. Being aware of the thoughts as they pass through your awareness, being aware of the breath. These are all things that are contained within the present moment. But it is the awareness that is presence. The awareness is the holding space of consciousness through which the awareness of breath, the awareness of the thoughts passes. Another powerful tool which we use quite a lot in these satsangs is that of listening. So at this moment, just become aware of everything coming into your eardrums right now. We can hear lovely night sounds from outside at the moment, beetles. Just become aware of everything you can hear, particularly the faraway faint sounds. So really strain to hear. And as you realize that as you pay full attention to the soft sounds, your mind has to become quite still, quite present, because you can't truly listen if you're not present. So listening is a powerful portal into presence. It's a tool we can use throughout the day whenever we are walking. Just become aware of what you can hear. When you're talking with someone, become aware of the sounds coming into your eardrums without the need to interpret or label or judge or strategize or predict or defend or respond. We just listen. We become the emptiness of presence that allows the sounds to pass through without trying to hold on to them in any way at all. Rather like the hole in the flute that the breath blows through. We become empty and we allow the sounds to pass through us. And let's bring our awareness into the body and any aches and pains that you have right now, any discomfort. Just bring your awareness into them. Don't try and resolve or understand or push away from any discomfort in the body right now. Just allow it to be here, held in the embrace of your presence. For all discomfort and pain is just sensation, that's all it is. And you're the awareness of the sensation. While your body may be a bit uncomfortable, you're the awareness of that. And as such, the awareness is just stillness. The awareness isn't uncomfortable. Just awareness. Take another very deep breath in, right down to your toes once more. And just sink down deeper into your body as you breathe out. Relaxing your shoulders, your neck muscles, your forehead. And this time relaxing your jaw, your cheek muscles, the little muscles around your eyes. And let's drop our awareness fully into our hearts, opening our hearts to embrace life in this moment exactly as it is. And let's feel this opening and allowing of life to flow fully through us into this world, connecting with loved ones, connecting with friends and family, connecting with other forms of life, not needing to own or possess or to change, but just allowing life to be exactly as it is in this moment. This is love. Love is allowing, accepting and appreciating just the isness of this moment, here and now. And feel the beauty in this connection. Beauty is a powerful portal at opening the heart. Allowing the healing energy of presence to flow fully through us. And we hold the world at this time in this bubble of love, of openness, of presence. Just holding the world and all its inhabitants in a beautiful field of love light. Saying thank you for this beautiful jewel of a planet. Saying thank you for the life experience, the unique life experience that we're having at this time, without judging it good or bad. Just say thank you. Take another very deep breath in now, right down to your toes and to the top of your head as well, so you're blowing your whole body up. And a beautiful long sigh out as you release. And holding this inner space as peace within. You may gently open your eyes and just see how you feel in this moment. Notice how you feel right now.
Thanks, John.
Thank you. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you. Yes.
Hello everybody, welcome back on a Sunday evening. Lovely to have you with us. Yeah, we've had a busy weekend, running around. So now we're here.
We have, but we've always been here the whole
We've
weekend.
always been here. Out here in the moment.
We haven't been anywhere else
It's
this
not
weekend
there.
except here. It's a realization that we're all looking to get over there, but when you get over there, you find it's not
There's
over
no
there.
there.
It's actually here. There's no there ever. It's only ever here. Like there's no future, because wherever you are, it's the present moment. It's just a great realization. So here we are in presence together tonight, and we're going to be talking about care. And we're going to be looking at the importance of care in our life, and also how sometimes we misdirect that care, and that misdirected care can actually disempower us in certain ways.
Yeah, because it's a word that we use often, don't we? I care about this, and I care about that, and I care about that. But what does it actually mean to care? And if you think about it, what does it mean? It means for me, it means to hold and cherish and put energy into something, to nourish, to nurture, to care about something, to want to keep it safe, to guard it, I would say cherish almost comes with caring.
It is.
And you can only really ever, if you think about it, really care now.
You can only care now.
Because
And
if you're not in the present, you're not really, you're not in that state of caring, are you?
And caring is really sharing your presence with whatever you focused on. That's really what it is. If you care for someone, you focus your presence towards that individual and on that individual, if you do care about that. And it's to realize that in caring, quite often we care for things that are not real. So we're actually directing our life force and our focus to areas that are not real. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is an awful lot of people focus their life force on the past or on the future. So they care more about what was, or they care more about what will be than what is. And that is really to miss the point. And there's another word that we're probably more familiar with when we talk about to miss the point, and it's an archery term, as if when you're shooting an arrow and you miss the target. And the word that is synonymous with missing the point from an archery point of view is to sin. So if we are caring more about the past or caring more about the future in where we direct our attention, then we are in fact sinning. We're missing the mark, because where is the mark? The mark is life. The mark is reality. The mark is presence. The mark is being. So every time we take the energy from this sacred essence of life now and direct it to areas that don't exist, like past and future, we are missing the mark. And every time we miss the mark, there is because of the law of as you sow, so you reap, the law of karma, or whatever you want to call it, there is a future, if you want to put it that way, repercussion for missing the mark. So we have created an imbalance in time and space that has to be played out in time and space. The only place that there is no karma is presence. The more we focus our attention, our care on presence, the less karma we create for ourselves and the less damage we do, I believe, to the world around us. So that's a misdirected care. We care about our future, and we were listening to a Michael Singer talk on this, and he was saying that he used the example. For those of you who haven't watched that very good talk that he did, he was talking about, for example, taking someone out on a date. And the reason we want to take someone out on a date in the first place is probably because we don't feel satisfied with what we are. We don't feel good about ourselves. We don't feel okay. So we think that another individual out there is going to make us feel okay. So now we take someone out on a date. But while we're on that date, are we actually caring for the experience as it happens? Are we fully immersed in the presence? Or are we caring what they are thinking about us? Are we caring about what the outcome of that date is going to be?
Yeah.
Or are we caring for this unique moment that we're in here and now?
Yeah, and I don't think many of us actually know how little attention we're actually giving to the moment.
Yeah.
Because if you're on a date, or he also gave an example of an interview or an audition, you know, you play a musical instrument and you go off for an audition and you play your musical instrument, but you're generally not focused necessarily on playing the instrument. You're focusing on, are they liking it? Are you going to pass? Are you going to get good response? You're not actually focusing on playing the instrument. So you're actually caring more about their reaction, about the merit that you're going to get or the criticism that you're going to get, than you are in playing a musical instrument. And I mean, I know in art that's huge. You know, you paint a picture so that the gallery will take it. You're not painting the picture because you want to paint the picture. That then takes the focus of the care that you would normally take to paint the picture away. I mean, I remember once painting a picture and the gallery said it was too green. It was a forest.
It was a forest. It was
So
too
she
green.
said, no, it mustn't be so green. So I didn't go back to that gallery. But, you know, that affects then the painting of what you're painting. Because you're not actually now in the moment painting. You're caring about what the gallery is going to say and whether they're going to take it or whether they're not going to take it. And if you really think about how much of our lives are spent like that. So we say that we care about something, but what are we actually caring about? And that I think the point that he made that really resonated with me is that it will usually suggest that there's something not okay within us. And that's where the work is to realize that whenever we're reaching for something else out there to give us validation or make us feel better, it basically just reflects and tells us that we're not okay. So when we're worried about how somebody's perceiving us, it's because we aren't perceiving ourselves in a good way. And we need validation for that. And if we are looking outside for compliments or we're looking outside for security, it means that we don't feel secure now. We don't feel safe now. So the work always comes back. I don't really like to call it work, but it always comes back to our journey. And how full and how whole and how complete are we in any moment.
Yeah.
Because if we're whole and complete, we're going to be caring for exactly what we're doing now and not focused on the outcome. And most of us are focused on the outcome because we have very busy minds, and the mind is always in the future or the past. It's always comparing. If I'd done that, I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should have done that. And we've often spoken about it. We've always got a good few roommates in the head, and they argue with each other.
Yeah, those roommates are all involved in time and judgment.
Yeah, have a whole conversation with each other. And sometimes they even argue with each other. I should go there, but I don't know if I should go there. Maybe I shouldn't do that. But if I did that, what would happen then? What is that?
And who is that?
Who is that?
It's really a mad roommate in the
and
head.
it's to notice it, isn't it?
It
It's
is.
not to repress it.
Yeah.
It's not to say it's not there or I'm doing something wrong because I've got a few roommates in my head. It's just to notice them and to know that that's not who we are. Because if we're noticing them, it's not who we are because we're the observer then.
Yeah.
It's when they take over, we're losing consciousness. We're not present
Yeah.
because those mad voices have taken over the show.
Yeah. And the reason for that is because we are making constantly what isn't more real than what is. Because those voices are always talking about time.
Always.
They're all concerned with time, those voices in the head. They're all concerned with what happened or what may happen. They're not too concerned with the isness of life. And the only time that they can come into alignment with what is when they're judging what is as right or wrong. and they're missing the mark. So to be involved in the falseness of life, in other words, past and future, is to be aligned with fear. Now that sounds a bit weird. But again, the acronym that we always use for fear is false evidence appearing real. And that really stands for I am what I do, I am what I have, I am what other people think of me, I am my achievements. And that is false. So if we only think in terms of who we are, in terms of that, in terms of what other people think of me, or in terms of my possessions, we're going to be constantly caring about what other people think of us. We're going to be caring about the loss or the gain of those possessions. And our caring is going to be projected into time. And that's the false caring, because we're caring about something that doesn't exist. Time actually doesn't exist in reality. The past does not, it's not real now. Yes, it's there as a trace in the neurological network in the brain, and future is another trace element of the neurological processing of information and projection, but it's not actually real. It's not experiential in this moment. We can't experience it in this moment. So we're caring for our creation in the head instead of caring for life's creation. Life's creation is always in the present moment. The human creation is always in time. And so that is a misdirection of the life force within us. And we start caring for those projections rather than for life itself. And again, the underlying element there is that this moment is not good enough. And it's I am not good enough in this moment. And that's a misperception of reality, because in truth, you in this moment are magnificent. If you had to know the complexity that the universe went through to actually create this moment, this unique experience in form, for you to have this experience, you'd be in awe of it. You are magnificent, and life in this moment, despite what your mind is telling you, is magnificent.
Yeah, and I think that we get so caught up with the future, and a lot of people in our environment and growing up, our teachers, our parents, our caretakers, everybody focuses on the future. They will generally not say when they meet you or when somebody sees you, how are you being? People will say, how are you doing? What are you doing? Where are you going? What's next? Is this happening? When is it going to happen? They are very seldom interested in the moment. So we kind of get this mistaken belief that actually what's real is not here. And so you can be in an absolutely blissful place or state, but you can be wondering about how this is going to play out, or you're going to be wondering about what's going to happen from whatever, this state or from something else that you're busy with. And you're missing this situation. You're missing this experience. You're missing this unique opportunity to create something brand new in this moment, because you're too worried about what's going on in the future. And we've been conditioned to believe that that's normal, and everybody does it. But it's actually, that's the root of our suffering, because we're going to miss the moment now. And what if we were able to not care as much about what happened in the future? Just what if? So what if we had to put our focus on now and care completely about this? As John was saying earlier, the only thing we have to worry about now is stirring your tea, or eating your food, or brushing your teeth, or speaking to this person, or writing that email, or driving the car. And you don't have to worry about what's going to happen as a result of that.
And part of that is to, when you were talking earlier about, for example, playing a musical instrument, and you're playing the musical instrument, trying to impress the person or the people who are listening, so that you can have an elevated sense of self, so you can find a more complete sense of self in their approval of you. But let's just look at that. The moment you are trying to please, or you're trying to get to the future, you're not fully present. And in order to play a musical instrument completely with the passion of life, you have to be present. The more present you are, the better you can play a musical instrument. You're talking about art. The more present you are, the better, the more valuable that piece of art is going to be, rather than trying to do a piece of art to get approval from the art gallery or from the critics or from your spouse or whatever. You are robbing that particular process of creation with presence. You're robbing it of presence because you're not present as you're doing it. So if you would like to create something, bring more care into the creation process and the presence of it, rather than looking for the outcome of that particular creative process to bring you something in the future that you don't already have in the present moment.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest things with process art, which is what I've facilitated for a long time. The reason is that the magic that happens when somebody lets go of the outcome. When you say to somebody, paint the picture as if you were going to burn it, the entire experience changes. Because in that moment then, they are free to be entirely creative, they're free to make a mess, they're free to do it badly or well, there's no judgment, because they don't care about the outcome. And the minute people do that, the entire process changes. And funny enough, the outcome changes too, but that's irrelevant. The process changes. I know I was speaking to someone the other day and saying, when I paint, I don't paint very much anymore, but when I paint on a canvas, it's a very different experience to painting on a piece of paper or cardboard. And that's because as soon as I go and buy a canvas, there's an investment and there's an expectation that I will paint something which I'm hopefully going to be able to give to somebody or sell or put on the wall. When I paint on a piece of old cardboard, there's none of that. So the picture, the painting, is more beautiful and more free and more real and more creative and more me. It's come through me than if I am focusing on the outcome. And I mean, I've tried that many, many, many times, and it's always the same. I always look at the cardboard one afterwards and think, I like that one. Whereas the canvas is, it's a bit contrived because you're actually thinking about the outcome. And it's the same thing with a musical instrument, with a sport, with anything. You see it with sportsmen. You know, in high-level tennis, for example, those tennis players are exactly the same, just about. And the minute that one of them loses focus for a moment and thinks, they lose the game.
Outcome, yeah.
So, and you can see it happening, that he's just in that second, that split second, he's thought about, he's only got 1 point and he's going to lose the match or whatever. And so if we really had to live in the state of not caring as much about the outcome, our lives would completely change. Because you can see it changing in the actions that you do in presence. There's a completely different process. It's a different feeling. It's free. It hasn't got judgment in it. It hasn't got fear in it. I mean, Michael Singer gave the example of the guy going to the audition, and in the one situation he gets a contract which pays lots of money, and the other situation he doesn't get a contract. They say, maybe stay with the children. If he doesn't have any outcome, if he's just showing up to play his musical instrument, it's not going to make any difference to him.
No, he's happy with whatever the outcome is.
Whether he gets famous or whether he gets to play for 3-year-olds, as long as he's playing his musical instrument, because that's where his joy is.
Yeah. So in the one case, he'll be disappointed
Yeah.
and not have a good feeling inside him.
Yeah.
And if he's not attached to an outcome, he will feel good no matter what the outcome.
Yeah.
Another example is just looking at that book on yoga over there. Just thinking about yoga. Many people do yoga for outcome. I want to get something from it. I want to get a better body, for example.
Stronger.
I want to get the teacher's approval. I want to get my other yoginis, what do you call them? The people, yoginis. I want to get their approval. I want them to say, "Oh, you're the best in the class," and you are completely missing the point of yoga.
Yeah.
Because yoga is to align
Unity.
yourself with the isness of life, to come back to spirit. And so by caring about the outcome more than the process, we completely miss the point to sin in that situation again, in yoga, for example. And it's to realize that the underlying cause of caring for future more than presence is the feeling of I'm not okay. I'm not okay in this moment. And then reaching to the world outside of you for it to make you feel okay. You're reaching for other people's approval to make you feel okay. You're reaching for the acquisition of money or goods to make you feel okay. You're reaching for future to make you feel okay. Or you're reaching into past for understanding, because if I could only understand it, then I would feel okay. So it's always the reaching away from presence that you are looking to create a feeling of being better than you are now, being okay. But in fact, you, the real you, when you find yourself, as we did in the opening meditation, as the awareness instead of the thought, that awareness is okay. That awareness is magnificent. Magnificent right here, right now. Your thoughts might not be magnificent. Your body might not be magnificent in your awareness. But the awareness is magnificent right here, right now. And if we know ourselves only as the body or only as the achievement, then we will have the feeling of I'm not okay. But when we know ourselves of I am the awareness in this moment, the pure awareness, then we feel okay. Then we can go on a date instead of looking for an outcome of the person's approval that we're taking out on the date. We are just thoroughly enjoying the date. And when we go home, that was it. It was beautiful and wonderful. We don't have to sit and worry, are they going to phone me? Are they going to invite me out on another date? Do I have to reach for them and invite them out on another date? Is it going to lead to a long, happy marriage? And are we going to have, 34 grandchildren? That's all the mind. And whenever you project yourself away from the present moment, there's always expectation. And with expectation always comes disappointment and fear. Fear of it not turning out the way that you want to turn out. And as you mentioned with the audition, if you are just thoroughly enjoying playing your musical instrument, first of all, you'll play it better. And the people around you will feel your presence. So the chances are that you will get that audition or whatever it is, that record deal. But also, you're not dependent on that approval, so you will not experience the disappointment because there were no expectations to be met by the world outside of you, so that there's no illusion being created, so therefore there's no disillusion being created. There's no attachment to outcome. And Buddha said that all suffering arises from attachment. And the biggest attachment we have is to future. That's the biggest attachment we have. So it's to do whatever you're doing the best you can in the moment. And the only way you can do the best in any moment is to be present with what you are doing. To give the best. To be the best version of yourself in this moment. And having done your best, give up caring what other people think of you, what other people say of you. Give up caring about the outcome. Because you've enjoyed the process. And that is the purpose of life. The purpose of life is to experience life in this moment completely joyfully. And you might say, well, I can't be joyful in this moment because of X, Y, Z.
I'm worried about X, Y, Z.
You then using external circumstances to remove the joy that is your true essence in this moment. You are distracting yourself with the external world from the magnificence that's in this moment, here and now. So care more about what we call the vertical plane, care more about the vertical plane, and that will illuminate the true authentic essence within you and allow you to be the best you can, and care less about the horizontal plane, about the outcome or about the past.
Yeah, because worrying about the outcome actually colors this present experience that you're having. So if you're doing something and you're with a group of people, or you're experiencing a beautiful place, if you're worrying about an outcome of something, it's going to color that experience so that you don't feel it fully. It almost dulls it. It kind of it dampens it somehow, because you're not completely present. The experience is perfect, but you're seeing it through the eyes of not being perfect. So it colors it. So it's just to, as John said, it's to, what if we could just do the best that we could in any moment and give up the rest? Because then you are living your life, we're all living our lives with presence, with doing the best that we can. And when you're doing the best you can, you're in enjoyment. You're enjoying it because you're just enjoying this moment. And you're not concerned about the future. But I think very often we also align ourselves with, this person cares so much about the X, Y, Z, and we kind of almost boost it as a good thing. They care so much. They care so much. What are they caring about, though? Are they caring about the moment? Are they caring about that person in this moment? Or are they caring about what happens? So I think there's different levels of caring, but the true caring for me can only happen now.
No, true caring is caring for life.
It's like parents would say, I care about you, so I'm worried about you. Well, how does that help?
How does that help? How does it help your children to be worried about your children? Because what you do is, when you worry, you make future and the uncertainty of future more important than this joyful moment here and now. And you know what your children would want? They want your joy rather than your worry. Joy is far more liberating, far more fulfilling than worry. Oh no, but I'm a responsible parent, I have to worry. Who said so? How does worry ever help anyone or any situation? It doesn't make you a better parent to worry. The best parent you can be is to be present, to be fully present. And it's to care more for life. When you care for life, you care for everyone in your life right now, for everything in your life, every bird, every leaf, every grain of sand. You care for the sunlight. You care for everything in the present moment, because that's real. That's real. So your caring for presence makes you an instrument for a much better world than stretching yourself away from presence into some imagined future time, which you're making more important than this moment here or now. I'm not saying don't have goals. I'm not saying that at all.
I have goals.
But you don't ever make the goal more important than life, more important than caring for the forms of life that you're actively involved with here and now, because that is love. Love is only present. Love is not future. Love is not past. Love is the opening to life in this moment and the full embracing of life in this moment with a joyful heart. That is love. And isn't that a successful life, to live a life aligned with that joyful love in your awareness every step of the journey?
And also just to know that when you're not in that state, it's okay. You just notice it. It's okay. So I stepped off and I've gone into the future, and now I'm caring more about the future than I am caring about the moment. And then you lovingly bring yourself back to the moment and say, it's okay. I'm okay. Because the worry about the future is saying, I'm not okay. And I need that future to happen in that way so I'll feel better. So if you bring it back and you say, I went into the future, but actually I'm okay right now. And it's fine that I went into the future. I've just brought myself back. So it's an ongoing moment by moment process in my experience. It's just to, I went herring off into the future, I can come back gently, because you don't need to beat yourself up, because that's what human beings do. We live a lot in the future, and I think it's a good exercise to just see how much we live in the future, just on any given day, with any given task or any given thing that you're busy with. How much are you worried about the outcome, and how much are you just doing what you're doing the best that you can in this moment? No attachment to the outcome. It totally changes the picture, changes the experience. And then spontaneity arises because there's more flow, there's less resistance. And so if you're not too worried about the outcome, you'll allow things to unfold. And it might unfold 5 minutes later, and somebody else might walk in that you didn't think that you'd meet 5 minutes earlier, because you're not rigid. Because when we're rigid and we're thinking about the future, we're rushing. We want to get from here to there because we need to be there, and then we sometimes miss the spontaneous things that happen in the moment. So it's to stay in the flow of life. And when we step out of flow, it's just to have the awareness that we've stepped out of flow, we've gone into fear, we've gone into worry, we can come back. And just pause and come back into now. And just do the best you can with this, in this moment.
Yeah, it's to understand that what worries is the mind.
Yeah.
The mind is congruent with time. Time and the mind are one and the same. You can't have time without mind, and you can't have time without mind. They're one and the same. And if you care more for time and for the mind, you'll be robbing yourself of the joy and the beauty of life. And so I just would suggest, or we would suggest, that we can start caring more for life than the story about life that we're telling ourselves in our head. Life is only ever now. Life is only ever now.
Don't believe the story that you're telling yourself in the head.
And the story is the mind.
It's not true.
So don't care so much for the mind. Care for life. You are life. Care for the real essence of you. You're not the story in the head. You're not the identity, the personality that you have created in your head. You are life. You are the vertical plane. You are presence. You are a human being. Care more for the being than the human story that you've been telling yourself. So I believe that as we care more for life, we will heal not only ourselves, but we'll also heal the world around us, because our actions won't be so driven by the madness of future. They'll be driven by the joy of living in presence.
Because we really do sometimes think that worrying helps. And how does it help? It's ridiculous. And this is from somebody who's very good at worrying. I mean, it's really, it's pointless. So lying awake at 3 o'clock in the morning worrying about something that's going to happen in a week's time. Why?
How does it help?
So it's just to realize that. And what I've realized when I am able to actually see it is, okay, I don't have to worry about that now. I can come back, and then you'll come back, and then you'll be okay. It's just this. It's almost like a loop, and you get into worry loops and anxiety loops, and it's to break the state of that loop by actually saying, not now. I don't need to worry about that now. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Right now, I'm just going to do my best to sleep and to rest, and I'm going to give that a break. And I think you start to actually break that cycle of just going into that same circular mind pattern.
Yeah. And to realize, I mean, here's the truth, that you never worry. Your mind worries.
Yeah.
And it's the attachment you have and the belief in your mind as you that is the madness. It's absolute madness. You're not the mind. You have a mind. The same way that you have a body, or you have a car, or you have furniture. Those are all things you have. You are the awareness. And the awareness cannot worry because it's presence.
It's non-dual.
So every time we worry, just realize that you have aligned your awareness with a thingness that you're not. Life doesn't worry. The moment we align with life, we cannot worry. Life does not worry. Not at all. Do you think the life that animates an oak tree is worrying about what's going to happen? No, it's not. Do you think the life that animates a bird is worried about what's going to happen? No, it isn't. And in truth, our true essence of who we are is life. Yes, encapsulated in an ego, in a mind. It's encapsulated maybe in it or occupied in that as a vehicle taking us through a human experience. But to become sane is to step back from the identification with what we have, and we have a mind, come back into the awareness that we are. The awareness and life are one and the same. We are life, we are awareness, and we are being. Being is sanity. Absolute sanity.
That being, that life is okay.
It is. It's
so
perfect.
That's
perfect.
That's the opposite of the part of you that doesn't think you're okay.
Yeah.
Which means that you have to have the outcome happen the way you think it should happen.
Yeah.
And if you come back into presence and you come back into who you really are, there's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
You're okay.
Yeah.
Right now.
The true essence of life that you are is magnificent.
And it's
Absolutely
a miracle, as you
magnificent.
said. It is actually a miracle that we're even sitting here talking.
Yeah.
If you think about everything that has to actually align, just in our physical bodies, to enable us to actually show up and walk around and speak and listen and hear and sleep and eat.
Yeah,
So it is a miracle.
If you just look at the very essence of having the human meat suit that I call, the fact of breathing and beating the heart. Your worrying mind, it doesn't beat your heart, doesn't breathe you. In fact, the more you worry, the more you interfere with your heart's natural rhythm and your breathing's natural rhythm. The more we let go of that, the more we come into alignment with life, the easier it is for the heart to beat, the easier it is for us to breathe. So our very life purpose is to care more about presence and less about time. And as we do that, we will become a saner person, a saner world, and we will create a saner culture around us.
And it's moment by moment.
Moment to moment. So show up, do your best in the present moment, and care more for the process than the outcome. Be the best you can every moment of your life. And to be the best means to fully enjoy what is in this moment, whatever it is. Enjoy it. You go to the dentist. Enjoy sitting in the dentist chair. I've done it many times. Many times. It changes the complete experience.
It completely changes it.
Yeah.
And
life.
I experienced at the passport office the other day. Actually, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Because I decided to actually just enjoy it. As opposed to sitting there thinking, why do I have to be here for 3 hours?
Yeah.
So that's the process. Is just you can choose whether you're going to enjoy something and be present for it or not.
Yeah.
And it's us that creates the suffering, not the passport office or the dentist.
Yeah. So choose to care more about life than the stories we're telling ourselves about life.
I'll do a quick exit.
Thank you.
Meditation.
You can do that, and we can choose a card. Where are the cards?
Mm-hmm.
Here the cards are. We've got this pack of cards that we have here. Gives us a nice anchoring affirmation to clear the mind for the week ahead. So we've got all these cards here, and Michelle's going to choose one. She chose a red card, and that's quite appropriate, I think. Eh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so I'll just do a quick out meditation. So let's just all bring ourselves into the present if you're not already here, by taking a deep, beautiful breath in and then releasing breath through your mouth. Another beautiful, deep, gentle breath in all the way up to the top of your lungs, and then release it all. And as you release, allow your shoulders to drop, allow your shoulders to just go back a little bit so that your heart is open and your body is softened. And just become aware now of the breath, no forcing it. Just become aware of how it enters and exits. Nothing you have to do. At the end of each out breath, there's naturally going to be an in breath. And then there's going to be an out breath. And just acknowledging that life is breathing you. Connecting with what you can hear in this moment. In the room that you're sitting in. And then extending your hearing to the exterior. And then bring your focus back to the sounds in the room. Connect with your hands. Full focus and attention and care on your hands. See if you can feel a life force in your hands. You might feel it as a little tingle or a little bit of a warmth. Just noticing. Notice that the more you focus your attention on your hands, you might find the sensations become more noticeable. Wherever our attention goes, energy flows. Now just drop further into this beautiful present moment by softening even more on the next out breath. As if you were a feather floating, 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 floating down, and then landing very gently on a very calm pool of beautiful blue water with sparkles sparkling off the water. And like a feather, just allow yourself to rest and float and be. As you allow yourself to just be, connect with your heart and consciously soften that heart space as you breathe in and out. And the affirmation for tonight is, I approve of myself unconditionally right now. I approve of myself unconditionally right now. And whilst sitting here in the circle, set an intention for this week. That over and over you'll bring yourself back to the place of presence and to this affirmation. No matter what's going on in the outside world, I approve of myself unconditionally right now. That just seep into your being. And take a deep breath in. And a releasing breath out. And you can open your eyes when you're ready.
Lovely, thank you. That's beautiful. I approve of myself unconditionally right now. That's the card. I will photograph it and put it up on the Facebook page, and let that be your
mantra
and your tool for transformation for the week ahead. It really does bring you into caring for life rather than for the stories you tell yourself about life. Thank you all for being with us tonight. We love you all, and God bless you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Love you.
Thank you.